Mike Jones here with Ken's. We got a brand new show. My brother Kenny and I own Ken's Stereo Junction, and since 1978, we've been doing what we do because of you. You are going to love this show. It's amazing. Let's get inside and check it all out. In the world of car audio, ATVs, trucks, all the stuff that we do, motorcycles, all that stuff. So when you go to Macon and Warner Robins, we have this display. I talk about this monthly, so actually 12 times a year you get to see me stand here. And the idea behind this is to show stuff that we are getting that are special, stuff that we have in inventory, stuff that we are giving deals on constantly. And here we are quite literally into the month of November. I really cannot believe this. So in that arena, this new Pioneer, so they make these floating screens we talked about last month or previously seen on Ken's infomercial. And they make these floating screens which are very, very popular, but they still make these 7s that will fit right into like a factory location. This Pioneer is called the 2770. We do a bunch of these, and there's a lot of these. Now, you're going to see $5.99, you're going to see $2.99, so we have these all priced all over the map to make sure it's most affordable to you to get what you want. But what you'll love about this particular one is it has wireless, so when I can connect my Android or I connect my iPhone, I don't have to have the cord plugged in. As you can see here, I'm using my CarPlay right now through that. And what is CarPlay and Android Auto? For you folks that don't know, that allows my radio to become my phone. So I can see my text messages, I can dial, I can pull up my maps, all the things that I want to do. And you'll see it right here when I pull it. Now, if you're saying, golly, how many times do you have to say the same thing? Well, a lot of people don't know what you know if you're smarter than that. So if you come back around here, it's just nice and very, very easy to use. It allows me to do a multi-grid, and it's just easy. Now, if I want to plug it in, I can. It has a USB output that'll go in your glove box or down, in your console or whatever, that allows me to charge the phone, and it also does those same exact features. Very nice. This also has an equalizer built into it. It also has a 200 watt amp built into it and a backup camera input into it. So when you come in, we can choose one of these. If you're not the screen person and you want to do a standard DIN like this is a single DIN, AM, FM. This actually has a CD for us old schoolers, and it has a thumb drive input right here, and also has a 200 watt amp. This new JVC just came out here. This is a double DIN, so if you're not the screen guy, but you still have the big dash that will hold what they call a double DIN, this still has the thumb drive. It has Bluetooth built into it, and I love that it has big buttons. They went small buttons for so long. I like the buttons, very easy to grab, and I love the rotation volume control on this new JVC. So obviously we have a tremendous amount of head units in stock and always in the right pricing. And the blessing of this, when you buy a head unit or speakers from us and they fit in the factory location, we don't charge labor. And everybody on the planet charges labor that I know of. I try to check on that, but we're the only folks that have been doing free car installation since we started in 1978. Speakers. So when we talk about speakers, we talked about last month, these new SoundCube 6.5s are the deal of the century at just $99 for a pair. That is incredible. We have sold tons and tons and tons of that. We also have been doing very, very well with the new component set. I'm going to give you just a little bit of a demo here. I'm gonna try, I don't know if you'll get the full max with just playing through my microphone, but listen to the highs. This is not even hard to play it loud, but I love the mid bass. I love the highs. They've done so very, very well, this company has. Another brand that we really have gotten super, super strong with is going to be Alpine. I'm going to back you right here. This is an Alpine 5x7. You hear the clarity. I love that it has a tweeter that rotates depending on where it's located in your door. $139. That's for a pair, which is super nice. And then when you go up into the knowing, I want to tell you that on my personal vehicle recently, I had a set of Alpines out, and I like to try different things. I did these new Sony Mobile ESs that I talked about last month, and I am blown away. I listen to music all over the place like you're hearing right now, my 80s and 90s, and I'm current. I do rap and I do country, and these speakers are just good and clean, and they come with their own crossover network, and you can get them in a two-way or a component like this. I did the component set in my Ram truck. So I say that out there because that's the best $400 for mids and highs that I have heard so far. If you're kind of a $99 affordability, I get it. $399, I get it. If you're $1,000, I get it. But we carry all of that budget in place is the reason I put that out there to you to see what will fit your budget. In the world of subwoofers, I'm not gonna get too long-winded. We do custom, I'm sure you've seen just a couple of pictures of custom stuff that we've done here recently. We also do what they call prefab boxes that are already made for you to do it yourself, or just to go ahead and put it in the back of your vehicle, all shapes and sizes, all the way from powered 8-inch Rockford Fosgate speakers, all the way up to the massive, 16-inch, 5,000 watt woofers. Amplifiers, we're gonna have all that in stock. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway of our floor right now. I just reloaded my Warner Robins location. They are packed out as well with product in place to be able to serve you. Now, I say this to you, I'm not gonna get too mumbo jumbo. The folks that work, the girls and gals that work at both stores, they are qualified. So when you come in here, we're constantly teaching them. Basically, they'll walk in here, play your music, and choose what fits your budget, and then we'll set up a time for the install because we have our own installers. We don't farm anything out. So whether you're going to put it on an ATV or a truck or whatever it is, that is what we do, and we will do it right. All right, hey, you know, I'm awesome with our car audio specials, but did I tell you about the slingshot that we just did? It's the loudest slingshot I have ever heard. Check this out. Okay, now we do a lot of slingshots. I'm very grateful, but this is a rare commodity of slingshot when somebody says, I want to be louder than every slingshot, not just his friends. When I pull in the parking lot, I want it to be all about my volume. So we start with a Kenwood floating touchscreen. You get these in 9, 10, all the way to 10-inch touchscreen. This allows you to do a backup camera, built-in EQ. It has an amplifier, but that is not where we are with this. So starting with this, that gives you all the view you need when you ride down the road. He said, I want speakers inside, which we have. He said, I want speakers outside, which you'll see down there on the other edge. He said, I want speakers midway, which we have right here. He said, I want speakers front and behind me here. And these sky-high audio speakers, these are the new ones. These are $700 a piece. And before you gas, they hold thousands of watts. And they are the loudest loudspeaker on the market. And they are completely weatherproof. He said, I want the subwoofer, which we have a subwoofer down here behind the seat. Now, to do all of this, you have to have a lot of power. 3,000 watts of power. I'm sure you've seen the cutaway right now, because underneath the seat is an amp rack that holds not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Rockford Fosgate Marine amplifiers that all settle in that have crossover networks to be able to run all of these speakers. Now, you have to have battery power. There is a battery box. We put a battery box here. We built our own custom battery box right here. So we replaced the factory battery, and we built a separate battery box with limitless lithium batteries, and that allows us to have plenty of juice. Now, how much this is going to mess you up. Now, time-wise, let me say that before I do this demo. When you're doing speakers on the sides, speakers inside, the roll bars, this is a lot of time. You're talking 20, 30, 40 hours worth of time. So we usually keep the vehicle gutted, and you're probably seeing a cutaway of that right now. We had it down to the skim. You could see the floor through the seats. We stripped it all the way down and rewired the entire thing to be able to support what we're trying to do. Listen at this thing. This, y'all, around here. Listen to these speakers right here. I mean, listen, just keep coming around. Come back around this way. It is, listen, I'll give it more. That is halfway. This is literally the loudest sound system I have ever heard. Now, give it down to, we've got DS18 speakers, of course, sky-high audio, Rockford Fosgate amplifiers, and limitless lithium batteries, and Ken's slingshot. I am blown away by this vehicle. One more time. All right, you can't tell until I walk into the picture, but this is Sony's newest, largest 4K monitor on the planet, because it is what? 98 inches, just 2 inches short of 100 inches. 98-inch 4K flat panel. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that it's still thin, which means we can still mount it on the wall if we choose to, which I just can't get enough of this thing. Comes with its own base here to be able to set it on top of a cabinet, but it better be a really big cabinet when it's a 98-inch TV. You're just seeing Sony's little demo right here, but you have to pay attention. The fact that you are taking these pixels all the way out to 98 inches of a diagonal size, and look at the clarity, the fact that you can't see the grid because it is a true LED, and is what they call a dual line array LED. What that means is it has a light array here and it has a light array here that fires the color into the center, which means there's no dimming. So if you get off to the side, you'll notice there's no shading or dimming on the edges, which is the most difficult thing to do with a gigantic flat panel. Now, I am getting these in stock. I've already sold through my first batch. I got another batch coming. Let me just show you this real quick. I'm gonna super just to a regular thing. So you can see this, like look at this. This is just standard streaming video, and look at the clarity on this 98-inch Sony. So I'm gonna try to keep them in my Macon and my Warner Robins location. Right now I'm at Macon location because I sold out so quick, but 98-inch Sony. Now, Sony has a killer deal on these, and they have a 3-month, 6-month, and even up to 12-month at 0% financing. So when you come in, kind of let us get you a package. If you want me to come out and figure out if a 98-inch fits in your living room, which I hope and pray that it does, here is my phone number. The estimate is free, and I can come to you. That's exactly how we sold the first batch is. I went out to a place in Forsyth, and this guy's building a hunting lodge up there, and we're putting his 98-inch in his hunting lodge. Awesome. This is what we do. So now that you've seen the 98-inch, I've got to take you over to Heart of Georgia RESA in Dublin, Georgia, where we just did a video wall, and you talk about, you think that's big? Check this out. This is the heart of the beast. So look, this is my microphone, all my wireless microphones, multiple inputs. I've got my mics, got amplifiers, sources, and this allows everything to play from a sound perspective. Now, flipping over here, this is the good stuff. We had this custom made for them. This is a matrix. Now what the matrix does, it allows me to have multiple inputs that I can send to multiple areas. And you're gonna see why I said that statement here in just a second. This also allows me to have network control. So I can control it from these buttons. I can control it from a computer. And the blessing of that is it outputs to here. This panel right here is showing all my here. There's my microphones, there's my PC, all my different sources I can do. And the reason you're seeing 9 slots, I'm gonna show you that in just a second. This allows me to control everything from a tablet, from a touch panel, from a computer, or actually from this. Is that a blessing or what? You're saying, but why do you need so much control? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to scoot through here just like this, because what we did is we came in and we built this, custom built by our guys. Yes, it takes a tremendous amount of work. You're dealing with a concrete block wall, and this is not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5, 6, 7, 9 65-inch 4K monitors that the Matrix sends and allows us to have, as you see right now, we're just watching the Georgia game on this video wall. It also has digital sound output, which we'll get sound in just a second. The blessing of this is it allows me to do anything I want. It's not just a gigantic TV. Just to give you an idea, it even has Miracast built into it. What that means is I can wirelessly stream through the network from a tablet or from a phone or from a computer with no cables connected. I also have a hardwire connection on the wall. You're probably seeing a cutaway of that now that allows me just to plug right in case the Wi-Fi network was down. But let me give you an idea how big that really is. I'm gonna walk over here to the video wall and give you an idea. Look at me and look at that. Okay, so I give you some idea. This is one giant wall that is 14 foot wide, 14 foot wide, and 9 feet tall. And we can make it twice as big as this if that's what you want to do. Another blessing is the digital microphones were installed, and it gives us a way to teach with our gigantic video wall, and we have sound throughout this big area. We have robotic cameras. I'm seeing you see a cutaway of that now that allows them to do Zoom meetings or any type of recording. They're all full HD as well. Let me turn this back on. All right, and then here is our control grid. This is the actual Matrix control grid from the device in the closet, from the device here, that allows me to change sources. Now, let me tell you the blessing of this. So now I can mirror to it, which means wireless device. I can hardwire to it. I can control it from the beauty of the beast over here, and I've got all this control, digital sound, digital microphone. Heart of Georgia RESA in Dublin, Georgia. Just got finished with our video wall. I'm so proud of our men. Check this out. 14 foot by 9 foot video wall. This is what we do. All right, you see what I'm talking about with that video wall. That was actually 14 foot by 9 foot, but we do a lot of that area, like training areas, and a lot of the churches are now heading towards the video walls. We do projectors. I'm sure you've seen cutaways of different stuff that we do in churches. We do the projectors in the screens, all size churches, anywhere from a person with 50 or 60 in this church like my own, all the way to churches, you know, like Northway that we've done so many times. It has thousands and thousands of people in it. We cover all of those venues, but whether you do flat panels, 4K monitors, projectors, laser projectors, or video walls, or big 100 or 98-inch Sonys, all that can fit. The best thing to do is to call me and let me come out. There's my phone number, and I can come out. And we design that system around your church budget or your church needs, the size of your church. We do robotic cameras for streaming. We do black magic switchers to make it easy to get onto Facebook and to simulcast if you're going to go to YouTube or go to your own personal, your own church websites. And it just makes it simple. We do custom-built computers. We work locally with a computer store here that builds the computers to specs plus 25% to make sure it will give you a long-lasting technology on the technology side of it. We are turnkey when it comes to small to large venues, all the way from streaming to sound to the on-site training, which is unlimited when you let us do your design and your install. Again, there's my phone number. This is what we do, and we love doing it. Awesome. All right, so if the 98-inch doesn't fit in your theater, wherever you're going to put it, which I hope it does, I really do, then we'll come around here. We carry Sony, Samsung, a little bit of LG, 85-inch, 75-inch, 65-inch, 55-inch, 50-inch, 43, 32, 22. Now, the reason I bring all those sizes to let you know, we carry all shapes and sizes. We handpick the ones that we know are the best value for you, and we also carry the OLED products and the QLED products. So I put all that to know that we have all of that. Pricing-wise, we're on the money with pricing. We do have tech support, which means if you ever have an issue, we have somebody that actually can take care of the problem, which no one has, and I mean that, and we've done that since 1978. So when you come in, these guys will help you pick it out. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we have a wall full of wall mounts. You've probably seen a cutaway of that now. Articulating arms, tilt mounts, mantle mounts, and all that's in stock as well. If you want us to do it, I'm going to put my phone number up there. Me or any of my other salesmen from Macon and Warner Robins can come out and design that system for you at no charge to make sure. And then we'll just figure out what the charge is for the install, if you need power, if you need cables, if you need surround sound, need a sound bar, all that's part of that package. Now, how do we pay for it? Well, if we want to pay for it, we do have a layaway package for 4 months. We have it where you can pay cash, check, or charge just like everybody else does. But we also have no credit check financing, and we have Synchrony, which allows you to have 90 days same as cash, 6 months no interest, 12 months, and up to 24 months in certain situations. So we can kind of make it where you can let budget be a part of it, but really you want budget and performance to be right there together, and we make that simple, and we have tech support after the sale. So please, there's my phone number. I can come out and get it all set up and make sure you get the best bang for your buck and the much needed service after the sale. This is what we do. All right, in the world of amplifiers, when I was growing up, it was Rockford Fosgate, the Punch 45. I actually competed with the Punch 45s, Punch 75s, and a Power 300. I won the Nationals with a Power 300. And if you're old school like me, you remember all that very, very well. In that arena, a lot of people over time have become competitors to Rockford Fosgate. Even though I think Rockford Fosgate is the original GOAT, I got to tell you, this company, SoundCube, reminds me of Rockford Fosgate and a little bit of Orion back in the day. They are a very, very high-powered, very, very affordable. You love the input, the zero gauge input. It is bridgeable down to 1 ohm. I love that it has a crossover network. It has a bass knob built into it. Variable crossover, variable gain for you guys to know that. But it handles heat extremely well for you guys that really want to run the mess out of your woofers and play it very, very hard. Are you ready for this? This is 2,250 watts. Right, you're ready for this? This is $379. That is the absolute, positively deal of the century. It reminds me so much of those old school guys. The guys were really pushing hard, but were making amplifiers that were affordable to give you the big boy power. So SoundCube, you see I keep all of their SoundCube, and this stack goes from here to here, and from here to here, because you guys buy a lot of SoundCube from us. But to get 2,250 watts monoblock, zero gauge input for $379, dude, that is amazing. Yes, you are seeing, I'm showing this demo just on purpose because it's actually a beautiful demo that they are streaming. Macintosh is Binghamton, New York. They are arguably the best amplifier company in the world. And they are incredible at what they do, and we have just become the Macintosh dealer for our area. They are hitting their 75th anniversary. In 1949 is where they started, and this is what they're known for, is tube amplifiers and big 2-channel amplifiers. They do preamps and home theater amplifiers. They have a speaker line as well. If you have a Ford GT, it came with the optional Macintosh system. A lot of the new Ford vehicles have optional Macintosh, the new Jeep Wagoneer, Macintosh, and they dig deep in to who they are and what they are. Everything they do is handmade. When I took my certification class for Macintosh, I went to Binghamton, New York, and I had to build an amplifier for us to be a dealer for Macintosh, and you sign that. My particular amplifier went to Japan, which was really, really cool. So we're going to have this product in store for demo. I'm going to try to do both stores. We're starting with our Macon location, then going to Warner Robins. But these guys are the cream of the crop, the very best of the best. And again, the fact that it's all handmade and started as a family-owned company. If you go to Macintoshlabs.com, that'll tell you who they are. But we have been privileged to be the new Macintosh Labs dealer right here in Macon, Georgia. And this is going to be a fun ride for me and for you. Awesome. All right, now when we do a home, which we do a lot of HD security cameras, and you need to know that we do Wi-Fi driven cameras by Google, the Hello series type stuff. Those are all independent on Wi-Fi. Then we do hardwired cameras that are all going to be Ethernet driven. And these are the most reliable source because they don't have to have Wi-Fi for them to work. And they also have the longest range, as you can see by the lens. The lens is a 138-degree lens. It'll see about 125 feet out. Even in pitch black, it'll see another about 50 foot out. But the blessing is they do day and night vision, and they have audio and video. So you see these two coming this way. You'll notice we got one on the garage there. So the blessing of this is you have such a big footprint right here. I'm sure you're going to see a cutaway here in just a minute as I go through the grid. But the idea is I really need to see this parking space. It's not enough just to see all the way up there. So in other words, I need to be able to see out here to this area. You see we got our Ken's van and stuff in the back right there. So it is, we have 3 alternate views that are overlapping. And the idea behind the overlapping views is if the bad guys end up here, we get 3 different views of him. It can't just be enough that it was a white guy or a black guy or a guy that was in a truck or a car. It has to be a white guy wearing a blue shirt with a Ken's logo and, you know, get a tag number driving out the driveway. You have to have that information so that the police officers can do what they do from a prosecution standpoint. They always tell us that they want to be, no matter what, we want to have 3 views of the bad guy. It doesn't matter if you're in Monroe County or in Houston County or Bibb County, they always say the same thing. Flipping back around here, once you get past the threshold of this part, you'll look in that back corner right there. There's another camera. There's another 138 degrees that sees from the steps to the door. The idea is if you've gotten past this point, we've already got your face. Now we've got who you are and what you are, all about who you are. And again, these cameras adapt for the light. As you can see right now, I have the sunshine all in my face. They'll adapt for that, where you don't have a bunch of blurriness and a bunch of crazy stuff. All right, now we're inside. The idea behind this is these are all hardwired HD security cameras. What that means is they're not reliant on Wi-Fi to work. So many times we will do like a Google Hello system or Google camera system. Problem is if you don't have Wi-Fi, they don't work. They are amazing cameras and very affordable, but they're a little limited on distance, definitely limited on day night in comparison to hardwired. Hardwired meaning an Ethernet line, a Cat6 line that runs to each individual camera, depending on how many you do. And so what we did in here is we have a recorder in here, we have a switch in here that gets everything powered out through the house. Because we also have Wi-Fi that we did. We do a tremendous amount of Wi-Fi in commercial, in residential. The idea behind this is if you've got 1 gig or 2 gig, we need to be able to get that throughout the house in Wi-Fi, especially when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 smart TVs at the same time, plus your Sonos music, plus cameras, and you want to be able to view it. Now, what you do need Wi-Fi for is to be able to view them from your phone. You're seeing a cutaway of that right now that allows you to go to the cameras, zoom in on the cameras, pull footage, the whole 9 yards. And all of this being hardwired, again, keeps us constant, because right now, you're seeing a cutaway right now of the back of this office right here. We ran a monitor to the office so they can see the grid. Speaking of the grid, right now, as I'm talking, you're going to see a rotation of that grid. The idea behind that is look at the clarity on these as we click through each one of these icons for you to see. You can also do an alert system where it will alert you if there's motion around those cameras as well. Now, they're IP cameras, which means they're fully digital, no compressed. So as you're seeing these pictures I'm going through, you'll notice there's zero. They don't have grain, none of that mess. You also have the option with these recorders to add a robotic camera that will actually robotically scan your yard, or you can joystick control it to zoom in and zoom out. If you have that much time, you can do that. Otherwise, with a scan, it'll scan back and forth, and it kind of keeps it where if you have a lot of traffic in and out of your yard. So this kind of makes it simple. Now, end of the day, there's my phone number comes up. The idea behind this, the phone number is I will come out just like I did this. They have a home. Then they built another home behind their home kind of to bridge their house into a really big house. And I was a part of the original and I was a part of the new one, but I planned the system to make sure we knew what the budget was, expectations of performance that you wanted. They wanted the best, they have the best. There's gonna be a few of these that we do filming wise that shows a theater that we did for them. We also did an office for them. We did a back porch, just all these different things. The idea what? There's the phone number, the estimate costs zero. At the end of the day, you have our on-site service, which this right here just looks like a bunch of stuff to you. This is beautiful because this right here is guaranteeing their security, and that is what we do. Hey, thank you so much for watching our show. I'm very grateful for you giving us 28 minutes and 30 seconds of your life. We do this show on Saturday and Sundays all the way through the entire year. There's 13 shows, 12 for the months, and then when we get towards that New Year's, there's like a conglomeration of all the bloopers and all that cool stuff, which is kind of neat. So thank you for being a part of that. We do have social media. There's my social media right there that gives you YouTube, and you can go to Instagram and you go to our Facebook to kind of keep up with what's going on with what you guys are allowing us to do. We have a phenomenal crew crew of guys and gals that work for us, and we constantly are putting this stuff into their brains to make sure that they're educated enough to take care of it. We understand that your hard-earned money and you're spending that, you're choosing us, and that's a big deal to us, and we'll never take that for granted. My daddy and my uncle started our company, and me and my brother own our company, and now our boys are being raised in our company. We have about 25 total employees, of which about 5 are family. We have our own tech support, and I'm saying this to you, you may already know this for you folks that have been with us a long time, and I'm grateful for that. For folks that are new to this infomercial, you know, we have tech support, which means we repair everything that we sell and even stuff that we don't sell, and that's a blessing. I'll give you a great example. Just recently, somebody came in. They had a Vizio 75-inch TV that was only 2.5 years old, and it had a bad power supply. Well, the new TV they wanted to buy was over $800. The repair was $226, and they got right back in business, and now their TV is as good as new. I say that because we have our own in-store technicians. We have our own installers for car audio and for ATV and golf carts and trucks and all that stuff. We have our own home theater installers. We have our own church installers, and that's a big deal. We try to keep about 9 in each of those divisions, and that kind of rotates out a little bit. But I say that to you so we will come to you. There is my phone number. The blessing of the phone number is that I will come to you and we will design no matter where you are. I've been doing work in Savannah. We've been down in Florida a little bit, and South Carolina and North Carolina. But our mainstay is right here in the Macon and Warner Robins area. So I come to you and we design the system. There's no charge for that design. And then we'll set up the time to make your dreams come true. So we do churches, we do security, and you saw all of that in the show. How about the video wall? Kaboom. How about the slingshot? Kaboom. It just shows you the talent of all the folks that are in our company and what they do. Again, that phone number is going to come up again because it's important for you to call me, for me to be a part of your world. Now, if you have an experience that's great, please call me or text me and say, hey, this is the person that did it, so I can make sure to reward those folks that did right by you. If you have an experience that's a little goofy, maybe not exactly as promised, I also need a text or a call, and I will put the right person in that position to make sure that we take care of you. That's the key to this, is I want to maintain a relationship with you forever and ever and ever and ever. Now, I always end our scripture. It's very important. In our show with scripture, in Ephesians 5:8, it says, for once you walked in the dark, but now you walk in the light. Walk as people that are in the light. Now, I'm sure it came up in the proper form. I said it in my form. I give you my own personal experience. I walked in the dark a long time, and I still look just like this. I cleaned up good, and I was a good daddy and a hard worker, but I was a terrible human being. I was a very bad husband, and I carried a lot of lust. I had very much an addiction to pornography, and I say that to you folks out there, that is a hard thing to let go, because it won't kill you like drugs or alcohol. So I tell you that to put that out there, say, I walked in that dark, and so I lived like a person that walked in the dark. But when I found the light, and it exposed all those things I needed to get rid of, I was so grateful to take that off of my heart and off of my shoulders and walk in the light and glorify God in the way that I walked, and it just feels so good to have that out of my life. So I can tell you this, the Bible says one more thing, it says, if you resist the devil, he will flee. And that's a true story. I am living proof of just that. Come see the Kens in Macon. When you use my phone number, and it's going to be a commercial, sorry. Shoot! I got it already. Really? Yeah. We don't need you anymore. We don't need you anymore. Yellow? Oh, I got it. Check one. I was just being too quiet? It was quiet in there. That's a rare moment. Mike Jones here with Ken's. Football season is here and the deals are on. Sony 85-inch, just $14.99. Sony 75-inch, just $9.99. Sony 65-inch, just $6.89. Best brands in the business. Come see us at Ken's in Macon and Warner Robins. Ken's.